old classical. Let's see how low from here. I mean, I'm fine with this. I'm talking about going to that. MTV Cribs.
Well, true,
actually, this is MTV's retirement.
I feel like sit here.
We should do Biggie next time.
If anybody wants a bottle of water,
Carnegie.
trash
Carnegie.
Spray them in. I mean, nice. I'm bringing in their knowledge, you know, through this another race.
Yeah. I changed my ears today. My other one changed my ears, but I
don't know,
inside of it's
but I'm breathing.
I'm allergic
It's a
to
good thing.
metal because it's really green black. That's fine.
Okay, got it.
Jimmy, you know how like
I'll just stop.
regular.
Alright, works for me.
No, I'm good.
The big one.
Yeah. Beat jet. So I was thinking.
I have macular tattoo.
So do I. Let me see.
That's, no, it
No,
goes
that'd
on
be
my
fun.
back.
See,
I sound like all those people.
I was thinking like I'm gonna get a tattoo of Buffalo Sabres on my
Like
like,
you
guys have a
like
seat
have it
wherever
out.
you like.
Like the cake for them.
My veterans will be up.
Asphyxiation.
as like a reference to my foot. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I gotta learn.
I
I
have
want
no
to learn
matter where
Spanish.
life takes
You wanna
me,
wrestle?
my name's on my back.
That little comedy movie got
That's my favorite.
You guys warm?
Yeah.
Getting there?
I got 2 hoodies on.
But you said
Yeah, so my muscles are working. I know, we look like we're having a family reunion.
If you guys want to grab my chairs, if you want to stand in
In
there.
like 20 years, we should have like a JAG reunion. In this
Okay.
Are you good listening?
In my boss.
If y'all like don't want to stand up, you can stay standing, but there are chairs over there if you want to grab one.
Speaking Spanish.
You just gotta like.
Caitlin, look.
Gotta find a way to stop Christmas.
Is that your
on
actual
show.
one? Oh, no.
Where's your skirt at?
My skirt.
That's it. I'm not going.
I'm not a big fan of the Grinch movie, actually. Confession.
Really?
Which one?
Yeah.
The new one's cute.
Yeah.
The new one's awesome.
It's the scary.
Waiting for the coverings to come up. I think she has some extra reason to put stuff in too. This is actually, Clyde Jones, he's a U.S. Air Force veteran, so he'll be talking to you guys shortly as we get everybody in.
We can put it on the floor. Oh no, I can do it.
Everyone finds some way to.
No. Yeah.
I was upset. Everyone needs to find some way to.
Take it deep. Ariel just
Good job, everyone.
No. But like, you're
And I'll come in.
You never go. Stand up to shake somebody's hand. You know, hi.
Then we said about that next year, grab when they go out. Huh?
Yeah, I never did anything like that.
Oh,
I was like 7 years old.
Those little kids.
Oh,
Oh, elementary.
you fancy look.
So cute. We had it all separated together. Students all separated. Okay, let me take a picture. Hi.
You have to
This
drive
is
me
another
home.
veteran. This is Gary James.
He's my
He actually canceled his medical appointment so that he could see you guys.
Thank
So
you
he'll
very
be doing
much.
a talk with you guys also. I think your boss is at the door. Yes. You would hear that little, that means somebody's approaching.
Crystal?
I didn't hear that part.
My other boss that you met the other day?
Yeah.
How many bosses you got?
Wow.
They laugh at me like your boss is I swear, because there's Danetta and then there's Cherish. And Michelle's over them, and then Crystal is our program coordinator.
More analytical.
Yeah, so, hello. So, this is a heavy for festival.
How you doing?
And then these are all of our lovely JAG students. This is Danetta. This is my boss.
That would be happy.
And then Madison is our you might.
The quality of the kid, bro.
You think they were nice?
She's my Spanish speaking student.
It was like a jail.
So I try to, I can't
Translate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like Spider-Man.
So these are all my JAG students. JAG is jobs for graduates.
Look at my size.
Can you rhyme?
Hey, Mrs. Grinch. May we switch seats? I want to sit by my boys. Thank you very much. What up, fellas? Basically. Is it related to Factory?
The only reason our
That, yeah,
president came to hang out with us.
See, you think it's good?
I said I've never had a Red Bull before. Only Monster and Bang.
You never had Red Bull before?
Yeah, I told you that, right?
I think that was my
How many of you are interested in joining the military?
I'm not done.
How about the Marine?
No, Army first. No,
Everybody,
Army first.
wait.
No, Army first.
No.
That was in the
I
army.
have to agree
Wait.
with Marines because I have.
Why'd your army?
When I was
That
younger, I
grandpa
wanted to go
was
to
in,
the Marines.
Huh?
He
When I
was
was
in
younger, I wanted to go
Marines.
to the Marines and be a sniper.
Okay.
But now I want to go to the Army for a mechanical
That's what
engineer.
I'm talking about.
Army for what?
Army,
I didn't
what?
notice that.
Mechanical
Player.
engineer.
Mechanical engineer.
Phonograph.
Same thing.
Hey.
I was a Marine recruiter for 3 years.
Army
Back in the early 90s, so I did, I mean, I know, plus I
I
served in
have
the
a
Marine
big
Corps a
camera
long
too for
time.
our.
I know everything about the Marine Corps, man. And, I hear all these people say, well, I want to go in this branch so I can do this. Marine Corps has almost the exact same jobs as everybody. So, I'll talk to you more, I'm gonna get you out of there. It's always a competition between the Marine Corps and the Army.
Yeah.
Because we're first to fight.
No.
When something goes down, we go first, and then they clean up behind us.
Excuse me? This is Miss Joanne, she's U.S. Army. So that's why she's fighting with the Marines. It's happening all the time around here. So we got a
I'm
couple
doing
more
Marine in the house,
people.
that's why.
Here, we got a couple more before you get started. That's
Get
coming.
started.
Yeah. You're not ready, you know that. You know, like, yours will be the one
Are you
to
gonna
take
have them
over.
sit on your lap?
What?
I asked Alexis if you guys were gonna, she was gonna let you guys sit on her lap.
I'm too small. They dressed up for you guys. They dressed up as Santa, the elf, and
Grinch.
Oh.
Lulu, and the Grinch.
I'm a big guy, you want to sit on your lap.
Right here.
Oh, I see.
How's everybody doing?
We're doing
Is
it.
that at the bottom?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh.
Wait, what are you?
I'm the Grinch.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that. I just thought you were wearing pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I could be.
They are pajamas.
Are they really?
Collection of people.
Man, I would get so hot wearing it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm very
We're good right here. That's good.
That was all right.
Thank you.
No problem. You know, I think.
I'm Julian.
My name's Clyde Jones. Pleasure to meet you all.
How you doing?
Excellent. And you?
I'm Danetta.
Nice to meet you, Janetta.
Wait, who else said they were interested in the military? Well, whose other hands were up?
Okay.
See, now nobody wants to put their hands up. Because you know I'm going to say something to you, right?
Sorry to give you a lefty there.
You don't want me to call you out because I know you were one of them.
Your
You
name?
want me to keep trying to look away?
Everybody introduce themselves.
What branch are you
Oh,
interested
I didn't
in?
know if you were talking to me or not. Oh, I'm Destiny. I'm Madison.
Wisconsin.
That's Santa Claus.
Alexis.
How you doing? Wasn't present.
Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh.
That way I won't forget who
That
she
is
is.
Natalie.
Natalie.
My name is Chucky.
Chucky.
Double XL.
Bradley Carroll.
I'll remember you.
Hunter.
Jacob.
Hunter.
Ariel.
Lacey.
Ashley.
Pleasure.
Pleasure is all of ours. man.
My name is Clyde Jones.
You don't speak English?
Clyde Jones.
Clyde
Just say
Jones.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
My last name, Jones.
That's good. That's good. You would never know.
That's funny. You got somebody. Do you speak English? How do you know what I just said?
Talking a different language and they don't speak it.
I also used to be a policeman too.
What?
Michigan City.
Okay. My whole family are police officers.
Yeah. Well, you know, military, especially Marine Corps and police is kind of like an expected thing. So a lot of policemen are former military.
This isn't everybody, is it?
So you just gonna let me text you and
I'll
I'll find out? Okay.
This isn't everybody, is it?
No, I'm just waiting for more
I was like,
veterans to join us, and then I think they're gonna talk to you, and you can get after them and stuff
Girls too.
afterward.
Who speaks English and Spanish. So like,
How was your day been, Clyde Jones?
Excellent. Fantastic.
You have a good weekend?
Oh, let me take pictures.
I don't know. I don't
Just
remember.
enjoying my time here. I'm leaving here. I don't live here. I live out in New Mexico. But
Did he get kicked out of his
I'll be here till
No.
Tuesday next
Yeah.
week. Then I'm going down to Memphis.
I mean, I'll pick up word.
Spend Christmas with my son. Then going back out to New Mexico.
Sounds like a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I'm here for
You having a good time.
Yep, I've been coming up here off and on forever, probably before you was born.
You got friends there?
I have sisters, brothers, nephews, nieces, a lot of relatives live up in the Chicago area. Well, you know, Indiana, Chicago, the whole area. In Memphis.
I already thought about it.
He's a minister in Memphis, and he retired from FedEx. Memphis is FedEx's headquarters. They're in Memphis. So that's where he used to work in the corporate office. They're in Memphis for
They got the big old building.
FedEx. Yeah, that's the whole.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Everything for the most part. Logistics, like I said, like the country, but Memphis is where the bigger hub is.
Yeah, that's like the main place.
Main place,
Just
yes.
CJ. And only shop.
What do you got on your wish list?
Just health and that's about it. As long as I can be healthy, I don't need to be healthy. Leave that for somebody else. I have too much stuff already.
Humble, it's nice.
Yes.
Don't fall.
Wait, tell her.
Yeah.
Wait, who's up? Is somebody
Hey, everyone look.
Thank you for agreeing with me. Where are you from in Mexico? Oh, where are you from in Mexico?
So,
Chihuahua.
Yeah.
How do you check like the
the little triangle. Square with the triangle.
You know, Aguas Calientes?
Yeah. The flash will pop up.
I like other Rick Ross songs.
I know the one. Is it You Ain't Need No? You even know it.
Safe.
Okay.
Safe.
The devil was alive. I listened to that before I was Oh, really? I want to pull out my phone. Just like.
Jackie, do you know how to turn on all flash?
Yeah.
Come on, Chucky.
I mean, sometimes he doesn't use it.
Diablo.
It's been a while when you take pictures.
I know everything.
One gal turned off the noise on your teacher's cell phone, and she was texting during the conference, and I could hear all the letters.
Like your dad, your video?
You know the song?
Yeah, no, I saw it. I saw it looking at her. I
Why
was
didn't have
like,
the sound on? I wanted to.
Oh, really? It's all good. I went to a birthday when I was like 11.
same thing with my sister.
What's up?
They'll get it.
Oh no.
How do you know?
You gotta do the big times to get the flash out.
Streetwise.
Plug.
The car next to him has a Honda Accord from 2004. I think there's a
Dang the plug.
Hold on, wait. So who's the car difference? What's the car difference versus car house ratio? Yeah.
Okay, so I can't see from down here. 2 stories and 1,000 square foot with a Chrysler.
That
You
one?
have to.
The one with the tarp on it? You definitely use that for like meth ventilation.
That whole area is contaminated. Just from being here.
Yeah, bro.
That's for the sulfuric acid you go through.
These guys got it good. They can just walk across the street.
It's hard for me to
But I
get down.
could,
It's probably easy for you.
Plug's right there, man. You come back here, you get cracked out, listen to the phonograph. See that thing?
Because I had to like.
Ain't that cool?
Bro, does that shit work?
No, I'm actually like.
I think so.
I was gonna say, you're wearing your jeans.
Phonographs.
Around, I guess. That's okay, as long as you're comfortable.
I'm trying to take a nap.
We should write a song while we're here.
We should have put it back. Don't look at my jeans though. I didn't know my jeans.
That's not an instrument. That plays it.
Yeah, it's a tuba.
And put it on the front of the leg.
No, like there's no hole over, just like shove it in. Like, why is it work? I don't want to be that fat. Like, I want to be that big. I'll just work out on the muscle and hardcore 6-pack. Like that one dude, Liver King. Yeah.
Oh, I know Liver King, that big guy.
I think it is both for like taking steroids.
I don't know.
Something like that.
I would believe it, bro. Liver King fraud.
I'm going to keep it as he does not take steroids.
Just look at it.
Just
Yeah,
look at
he
it.
got exposed.
I'm going to keep it in my mind that he did not
I
take
didn't really
steroids.
look into it.
What did Liver King do, bro? Oh man.
Like 20 grand and the steroids.
I mean, he looks like 20 grand in steroids.
And he's like, oh, I only eat like this to become.
I only eat liver. I only eat liver.
I mean, I can try it. You know? I should try it.
You start looking like him?
I mean,
I don't know whether or not it's
thought
fake.
about that, but then I was like, no, I want kids.
Oh, you can't have, you lose your reproductive organs if you do that?
No, you just lose your testosterone. But I have high testosterone, so I was like, maybe we can cancel each other out.
Good to know, man.
You lose your natural testosterone on steroids. I think that's what he said.
I don't want that.
Dude, the artificial testosterone cancels out your natural testosterone.
That's all it is artificial testosterone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like them gas station pills.
Yeah.
Those are not testosterone pills, bro.
Get ripped in 6 days.
Usually it pops
with 2 of these pills.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, jeez, that was. You can tell someone's on steroids just by looking at their body.
When it doesn't look realistic.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, dude, you gotta, Brad, you gotta put the reds down, dude.
I'm not pitching, we gotta stop and go. Yeah, skip and continue. Is it open, close, repeat?
It's got like a digital screen on it.
I didn't think they had buttons. I just thought you like put it down there.
Crank it up.
Yeah, and then it just starts playing.
Like churning the butter.
My big state one.
Both of them.
I know, I was like, we should write this down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because one's for choir and one's for cheer.
City.
So we gotta sing them Christmas carols. Having wonderful Christmas time. We could have Christmas time is here.
Jingle bells, jingle bells. Like have Chris Rock come in and sing. And Shakira. Shakira. No, like have Shakira come in and sing with us and Chris Brown.
She gonna sing me Feliz Navidad?
Yeah.
And then while we're doing that, we should also have JG performing.
You know what Shakira sounds like?
Worker. Yeah.
I've never heard Shakira, so I don't listen to Shakira.
That's goofy, bro.
Really?
Sounds like Yodi.
I'm the Abby.
Baby Yodi.
Yogi from Star Wars.
Baby
See, I'm gonna
Yodi.
be with my bus driver all day, so.
Baby Yodi.
Yeah.
Yodi from Storage
Yeah, that's
Wars.
weird. I don't know.
Fart Wars.
Storage
Storage Wars.
I don't really watch Storage Wars.
Me either.
I used to watch a bunch of hardcore Pawn. P-A-W-N.
Hey everybody, this is another fellow veteran, Navy veteran, Charles. Hello, how you doing?
Hello, Charles.
Another guy named Charles.
It's
My name is
Ranger
Charles.
Department of the Navy. You know, we get along great. They transport us everywhere.
Fine with that, but my name is not Charles.
What grade are most of you guys?
Juniors and seniors.
Okay, juniors and seniors.
So 11th and 12th.
Okay, you guys, have you picked out a university or college that you may attend?
University of Buffalo.
University of what?
The University of Buffalo.
Good school, good school, good school. Anybody else?
I'm gonna travel.
That's
and
good.
I'm gonna do online college.
Yeah, okay, if you got plenty of money to do that, that's a good thing.
We're gonna travel.
Ariel.
I just wanna go all over the place. I
Yeah,
haven't
that's
really
good, that's a good thing.
seen much, outside of our small
No,
town.
that's a very good
Where do you live?
thing to do.
We live in Roselawn. Yeah.
Now, do you want to travel within the country, or you want to go outside of the country for the most part?
Kind of just wherever I end up.
Okay. Okay. It's a very good thing.
Hey Ariel. I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to Europe.
So, I've always wanted to go to Europe. I kind of just, I'm gonna buy a bus. And I'm gonna deck it out.
You're gonna deck it out?
That's good.
What is it?
That's a very good place to visit.
Oh yeah, Netherlands. Yeah. We're Dutch.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Maurice Wesley. I'm the owner. So grateful that you guys actually took the time out of your schedule, although I'm sure you would prefer riding on the bus and being at the school, though, right? Hands up. Don't be shy. Hands up. If you'd rather be away from the school than at the school. Hands up. I thought so. I thought so. So we're Veterans Life Changing Services. Just to give you an introduction of who we are the homeless veterans company. We house homeless veterans or transitioning veterans that are between finding their permanent housing, maybe separated from their families for a time, or whatever, lost your job, or whatever, relocating from another state, or whatever the situation may be. We are here to provide those services for them. There are some veterans that are beyond the services that we provide here. So we actually also house at our local hotels. And what we find, or what we're finding in the last month, is that we're getting more female veterans that are homeless. Female veterans, number one, that are single, female veterans with children, which is really very sad because, you know, we're getting them with them sleeping in the cars or under overpasses, viaducts, you know, that over area. And when you go all the way up in there, you're not as exposed to the elements as if though you're at, you know, if you're on lower ground. So we are finding that a lot of the women veterans are now out with their children. So our responsibility is to get a homeless veteran and you know, house them as soon as possible. Our responsibility is to also make sure if they need coats, boots, shoes, whatever. If we got a new apartment for them, we were able to find a new place for them, our responsibility is to make sure they got furniture, they got bed linen, they have everything that they need to sustain them until they're actually able to either become employable or to receive their benefits. There is a misconception though that, why are veterans homeless? Why are veterans homeless? Anybody out there want to just throw out an idea why you think they may be homeless? Anybody? You guys are juniors and seniors. You speak up. Communication, right? All right, come on. Give me your name when you speak. Your name? First name.
Julius.
Julius. Okay.
It may be hard to find work after being in war-like situations.
That's a good one. That's a very good one. Okay, next. Yes.
While they're away, taxes and debts pile up, and then they're greeted back to that when they return.
Absolutely, because the government's not that forgiving on taxes. I don't care who you are. Okay, yes?
Brad.
Brad.
It could take a toll on like your mental state too.
Mental, yeah.
And you know, it's gonna be a lot harder to find work and, you know.
Absolutely. That's really, really good. That's a very real one, Brad. Very real. Anyone else want to put it out there? So all of those are actually good reasons, and they're actually factual reasons why a lot of veterans are homeless. They have lost their jobs. Remember, don't forget, you know, a lot of companies are supposed to keep those positions for them. But when they come back, it's not that position that they held, you know, they didn't, you know, hold their original one. They kind of downgraded into the company, you know, they're just giving them a job. And a lot of times that income is not enough to sustain them. And so what we find is, a lot of veterans, they lose their place, they lose their cars, or they rather keep the car than the house because at least they got, you know, the ability to travel around and find a job, you know, visit their families or friends or whatever, without anybody ever knowing that they're homeless. A lot of family members don't know that veterans are transitioning or having those issues because those are barriers within their families. They don't want their families looking down on them. You know, they're the subject of, you know, conversation when they show up, you know, at events or whatever. And so you see a lot of veterans will have the original transportation, be it they could have a Lexus, they could have a nice SUV, or they could have all of these vehicles, but they had it at a time when they could truly afford it, or that's all they have that's paid off. You understand what I'm saying? So you keep what's paid off, and if you got pillow in there, right? You got the heater in there, right? So the only thing you got to do is just try to make sure that the gasoline is in the vehicle. And so we provide everything. We're called what is the hub. You know, like almost like an Amazon warehouse where everything you need is up in that house, and you call and say you need this, you need that, you need this or that. And so it's our responsibility to make sure that those veterans get whatever they need in Northwest Indiana. So I service veterans all the way from the Wisconsin borderline in Illinois all the way to Indianapolis. So I service veterans if they are in Lafayette and they call and say, I'm homeless, I'm on the street. It's my responsibility to get them in a local hotel until we can find, you know, something for them, some housing for them to get them off the street. And we're in the season right now where veterans usually will try to, you know, stay out as much as they can. But when the weather and the temperatures and, you know, environment starts playing against them, that's when we start really getting a lot of calls, either if it's too hot or if it's too cold, then they're actually trying to come indoors right then. I service both male and female veterans. We do have women that live here, and we also have men that live here. There's the women campus on one side, and the men kind of like control the whole house per se, because we don't need that many men. Gary's nodding. So we don't have a lot of women in the building, because it's something about all women together. They just don't get along very well, you know. We want our own space, and we don't want you touching our stuff. Don't touch my makeup. That's mine. So the men don't care, but the women, they become very territorial. So we can't really house a lot of them together. So that's why we actually send the women out to the hotel so they can have their own room, their own space, and then some of them actually have children, and so. It's an honor to be able to service our veterans. As a matter of fact, Veterans Life Changing Services, we are the only veterans organization of our kind, as far as that whole zone kind of way from Wisconsin all the way through Indianapolis. We are the only veterans organization that provide all services to the Veterans One-Stop Shop, I think I could call it. I am the only female VA contractor. I'm a federal VA contractor, and I'm state of Indiana VA contractor. And so I have 2 grants that I actually operate under. And so it is an honor to basically be able to be in that position. And I just got to throw this out because I am just so elated that I'm also the only African American, Black and brown service provider for the VA as well in this area. So I'm very, very honored, to have been shown favor with the VA to be able to provide these services. We have veterans that are out, and we have Gary who decided to change his appointment so that he could be here. What was your appointment this morning? The dermatologist? Yeah. He figured his face was already together, so he passed up that opportunity to see that doctor this morning. So Gary's going to actually take the floor just to share a few things about U.S. Marine. You want to say simplify, hoorah, hoorah, whatever you guys say right there. Joanne is in the office. She'll be coming out. She's female U.S. Army. Jackie's actually over on campus. She's got some finals she's doing today. Who else do we have? Charles already said hello, everybody. U.S. Navy in the house, just wait. Charles is not going to say nothing to nobody, okay? Just hello, everybody. Who else do we have? I think Rundy is going to be coming down. He is an Air Force veteran. We have Mr. Clyde Jones in the house, U.S. Air Force as well. And Mr. Eugene, he may or may not say anything. He's actually on the door. He's a gentle giant. I'm telling you, this man protects us like none other. If I don't tell him I have some appointments and some schedules coming on campus, Mr. Eugene will not open that door. You will be outside. Please excuse me. Forgot to silence my phone. He will not let you indoors. I don't care what the case may be. It could be freezing, ice falling. You will not come up from here, okay? So we always feel safe when Mr. Eugene is here. We're preparing lunch for you guys. I hope that you like, we have assorted sandwiches, turkeys and ham. We have individual pizzas, cheese and pepperoni. And we're gonna break it on down. We're gonna have some chicken wings with some mild sauce and some fries. Oh, okay, well, hey, kill the sandwiches. Everybody started nodding with the chicken wings. Chicken wings and sauce. And for us adults, for you guys that are so healthy, we have a salad for you too, okay? There's desserts and this one loves to eat, okay? So we have cupcakes and cookies, and we just ready to hang out with each other. This is not going to be a formal affair. This is just our little holiday party just to hang out with you guys. And then, you guys brought gifts to us, then we're going to give gifts to you to leave with. So we're so excited to just to have you guys thinking about us to drive so far. That really touched our hearts, because we have people in the community that know that we're here and don't ring the doorbell. But for you guys to come from such a long ways, it's just so amazing. And I am truly, truly grateful. Okay, yes, you will end up on our Facebook page. I'm telling you now. If you're running from the law, you better duck your head. So you won't be in the picture. Just kidding. But and so
you gotta lay low, man. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, and we also work closely with the law enforcement in this area. So we don't hide veterans up in there. If you did a crime, you are going to the veterans courts, and we will actually help you from there. So you can feel safe up in here. There's nothing going down up here. Gary, stop. Oh, scaring the poor young lady. You guys got any questions for me? Yes.
Ariel, do you guys have anybody that provides activities for you guys?
I am like the one-stop shopper. I'm the one. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we just hired a couple people, but I love activities. Sometimes I have to pull them in. The last one I think we did was what is it? The boards. What's the board?
Dictionary?
No, where you have the painting.
Oh,
Maybe we wouldn't have won that one, but yeah, painting. And so they just basically just freelance, you know, what they all, you know, whatever they want to do, and it was amazing. Some of the designs and creativity that came out on the canvas was amazing. We do love activities, and I hear you guys have something you want to do with us, and so we're open to do that. Charles is not going to stick a he might already be gone. So you see Charles duck in and duck out, and sometimes with veterans, they don't really want to chat, they don't really want to talk. So not that they're being rude or anything, it's just like they cannot deal with. It's just a lot for them, like overwhelming. But so anybody else have anything else for me?
I do.
Yes.
I have this.
Oh.
Poster. Let everyone find.
This is so doggone amazing. Oh, this is so very nice. Please stretch it out. Yay. Where's the photographer in the house? Are you taking these pictures?
Thank you, guys.
This is amazing. Thank you so much. We're gonna have it framed. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hold on.
Hold on.
That's okay. Nobody else.
Let's hold it up.
There you go.
I'm scaring you now.
No, just kidding.
That is so nice. Who's the artist?
Our teacher.
Really so nice.
Oh, no, none of you guys can.
So anybody else have any questions for me? Because I'm gonna move around just a little bit to make sure all the food, the chef is actually in the kitchen. And so make sure the wings and everything. Are we like real wing eaters, or we just play with food?
I'm a real
Okay, so I need at least 100.
You're a real wing eater.
You know.
Hey, when are we gonna do wings again? We gotta bring.
That's what I'm talking about.
Do you have ranch?
Oh yeah.
Yes, do you have ranch? Do you have ranch? As soon as they mention pizza, we're like, yeah, agreed. As soon as they mention pizza, we're like, see that ranch?
Ranch goes on wings, pizza, french fries.
Ranch and french fries.
Ranch goes by itself.
Ranch don't go on nothing.
Not by itself.
Ranch stays
I'm drinking with the
Ranch stays inside the refrigerator.
No, I want some
Buffalo wings. There we go.
I want some hot ass white
Literally
sauce.
about everything we eat in spring.
City.
That's true.
It's the only thing we get.
If they'll give it to you. Yeah.
I feel like ranch only belongs on buffalo wings, and that's all it's in salad.
I got
I hate speaking like TMI.
No, I can't do that. Unless it's like a buffalo chicken pizza. I've never had a barbecue chicken with bacon on it.
Chucky, guys.
I want to say again how grateful I am. And I really do hate that you guys have to leave and go back so early, because I had kind of planned on you guys visiting a couple of the permanent veterans homes. But maybe we can make something when it's warm outside, or we can hang around, hang out or whatever. So again, thank you so much. I'll be back just to chit and chat. I need to order these chicken wings. Gary, why don't you go ahead, because you're long-winded. It'll take you a minute. So.
I don't even have nothing to say. I already said everything I need to say.
No, go ahead and identify yourself.
Well, they already
and then I need you to talk about not only your tour, but also maybe some of the people that you met on the way, and maybe then you go into a recruiting officer.
Alright, so y'all know me already. First thing I'm not gonna talk about is comments, so don't ask me any questions about it, okay? It's a personal thing, and you know, it's something that you have to deal with every day. But yeah, combat's a personal thing. And Silencio. So yeah, don't ask me any questions, please.
Gary, could you speak up just a little bit, because you know they're having fun in the kitchen.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
I've never been one to be told I talk too quiet. I was a Marine, remember? I can talk a lot louder. So, like, the military is something I didn't choose to begin with. I was an excellent high school football player, played middle linebacker. I was actually all-state in both for 2 years. And I had a full ride scholarship to Western Illinois. I played 1 year, tore my ACL, decided I was done. So my dad was my high school football coach. You can understand how well that went when I went back home. So he kicked me out. I joined the Marine Corps 7 days later. I was in boot camp before I even knew what hit. And Marine Corps boot camp is no joke, I'm not gonna lie. It's it'll bring out whatever you think you didn't have as far as strength in your head. I mean, they test you every single day for 13 weeks. But to me, it made me a better man. It made me somebody I didn't even recognize. I mean, like, I didn't know I could do it. And not only did I do it, I was a squad leader in boot camp. So by being a squad leader, I got meritorious promoted to E2 when everybody else was graduating as E1. So, I mean, of course that was a lot harder, because anytime somebody in my squad messed up, I had to pay for it. And when I say pay for it, it's, you know, physical wise. So, I mean, it made me a better man. I loved everything about the Marine Corps, except I got selected for recruiting duty. Something I didn't expect. I wanted to be a drill instructor. They selected me for recruiting duty. Recruiting duty in the Marine Corps is one of the worst jobs, I'm not gonna lie. You know, Army, Navy, Air Force recruiters come in at 9 and leave 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Marine Corps recruiters come in at 7 and leave when the job is done. So if you get a call from a Marine Corps recruiter at 8 o'clock at night, because they want the job done. One thing that, if any of you guys think about National Guard, reserves, anything like that, one thing you need to keep in mind, and this is extremely important, you have to serve 1 day on active duty to get VA benefits. When you go into those, unless you get deployed somewhere, your 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer doesn't count as active duty. So you will receive no VA benefits when you get out. And let me tell you, I'm 100% covered through the VA. I've had 6 operations at the VA. I've had cancer 3 times. I take a lot of medication. I don't pay a dime. And that's a huge benefit. I mean, most of you probably don't know how much medical insurance costs, but I mean, it's ridiculous, and I don't pay anything. And I'm not saying that'll happen for everybody. Depends on how long you serve and, you know, what happens to you while you're in. But it's one of the biggest benefits that the military has to offer. You're not going to become rich. I mean, I can definitely guarantee you that. But no matter what job you do in the military, Post-military, job opportunities are endless. First off, employers get a tax break for hiring veterans. So anytime you fill out an application somewhere, you're gonna see on there, are you a veteran, yes or no? And if you are a veteran, believe me, you got one step ahead of the person, you know, that's applying the same as you. Because, like I said, they get a tax break. I became a policeman, and, you know, I had no idea what I was gonna do when I got out. I applied, and, I mean, they hired me with no problem. The process is kind of long. You have to go through a lot to get hired, but I love that job. I mean, you know, it kind of coincides. It's kind of the same rank structure as the military, but it goes hand in hand. Now, as far as jobs in the military, the jobs are endless. You know, people think that like Marines, all we do is go to war and, you know, we have so many technical jobs where you're not gonna go to war. Of course, Marine Corps is known as the world's elite fighting force. So every single person is an infantryman first. In other words, you're trained for combat. So I don't care if you're like an admin clerk and stuff gets really bad, you'll be able to come off that desk and go out in the field and know what to do. And we're the only branch of military that does that. You know, but like you're talking about, what'd you say your job you wanted?
Mechanical engineer.
Okay. Like I said, we have the same job. My job, I was a combat engineer. So I was explosives, demolition, and construction. That was my job. Blowing stuff up, and then rebuilding. I didn't choose that job. I went in an open contract just so I could leave as fast as I could. But everything depends on you guys know what the ASVAB is? Yeah. Okay. Everything depends on your ASVAB score. Now I'm letting you guys know right up front, Marine Corps has the highest requirements to get in. And the reason being, we're the smallest branch in the military. About 400,000 compared to the others are over 500,000. So we can be selective on who we want. You have to get a 50 or higher on the ASVAB. The other branches require a 32. You have to graduate from high school. You cannot have a GED. They will not accept you. You cannot have any kind of criminal record whatsoever. And also the big thing is now tattoos. You can have a limited number of tattoos. You hear about that? Nice ringtone. I lost my train of thought.
Tattoos.
Oh yeah, tattoos. I mean, it used to be guys would have tattoos all over, you know. I mean, that was just the thing. Now they limit the number because they have a lot of, believe it or not, a lot of gang members will go into, especially the Marine Corps, the Army, to learn combat tactics. So when they get out, they take it back to their gang members and teach them combat tactics. So we had a problem with, you know, gang tattoos, colors, all that stuff, and they definitely put the hammer down on that now. So if any of you got a lot of tattoos already, you might as well look for something else. It's not just the Marine Corps, it's every branch. I don't know what else to say. Anybody have any questions so far? Yes.
I know it's not where we normally talk about war zones and that kind of stuff.
I'd rather not.
Because, and I just wanted you to explain to them why, because sometimes kids want to hear what happened in a war zone and why veterans don't really like to discuss what happened in war zones.
Okay, so, I mean, the long and short of it, when you're in combat, you see and do things that human beings aren't meant to see or do. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's not like you see on TV. You're not out there fighting all the time. We have bases that we actually combat engineers make out in the desert. They're called FOBs. They're called forward operating bases. And, you know, there's many of them. where you have, you know, your own housing in there. All operations are ran from there. Big concrete barriers all around, you know, so it's a safe zone. You have different patrol rotations. So you might go out on patrol for 2 or 3 days, a week, whatever. And you always have what they call a QRF, which is a quick reactionary force. So if you're out on patrol and you come under fire and you need help, whoever's QRF is ready to go. They're back at the base, they're ready to go on a moment's notice and come out and help you. Again, combat is not like what you see on TV. It's really not, unless, you know, when it gets bad. But the things that people have to realize, I mean, it's real, you know, it's real. You lose friends. You know, you're constantly nervous, scared. You know, I don't care what kind of man you are, what kind of man you think you are. Even women now. I mean, we have women combat engineers now, and that was totally unheard of when I first went in. So, it's just, it's not a good situation. And then, you know, you come home, not everyone, but a lot come home broken to where, you know, they have flashbacks. You know, you could be laying in bed, say you have a ceiling fan going, and all of a sudden, you're kicking. Now you're scared, aren't you? You might mistake that for a helicopter blade, freak out. It does happen, unfortunately. I used to be a peer support counselor at the VA, and what that is, I had to go through a lot of training, and veterans come see me or one of the others, and the way it works is I begin the conversation telling them everything I've been through. You know, it's easier for one veteran to talk to another, especially if you're both combat veterans. So I tell them everything I've been through and everything I've done to recover from it. And then they tell me what they've been through. So that way I can help them, you know, overcome whatever it is, whether it's PTSD, anxiety, whatever. And it's a true thing that, you know, when we go in restaurants, we don't sit with our back to the door. When I first came home, I didn't like crowds. In fact, I was married and my daughter was 6 years old, and my wife took her to Disney World, and I didn't want to go because I didn't want to be around a large group of people. That's one of the unfortunate things, you know. But it becomes mind over matter too. You know, you have to realize that you're home, you're safe. You know, but it takes a while. So, I mean, that's really all I want to say. Anybody have any questions about that? I mean, I'll answer questions about combat if they're not like, have you ever killed anyone? I'm not answering that question.
I have a quick question. You were Desert Storm, probably, right? Okay.
That's it?
Yep.
That was easy. Anybody else?
I had enough people.
I mean, don't be afraid to ask. If I don't want to answer, I'll tell you, but just go ahead and ask if you want. I know you want to say something because you keep looking at me and looking down. Go ahead. Just throw it out there, man. Nobody?
I'm thinking.
Man, seriously, don't be afraid to ask me, man. I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to flip out. I mean, my PTSD is under control. So, I'm not going to, like, flip out on somebody.
Did you ever travel?
Did I travel?
Yeah.
Oh, man. See, that's one nice thing about the military, depending on what your job is, too. You definitely get the opportunity to travel. I've been to Okinawa. I've been to Norway for cold weather training. Obviously, I've been to Iraq. Okinawa's in Japan, if anybody didn't know. We have a huge base there. Obviously, I've been all around the country. I was stationed in North Carolina and then San Diego. So, but yeah, depending on your job, I didn't go on they call them a float, which is the Navy ship. Luckily, when it was my turn for a rotation to go, I got selected to recruiter school. So I don't know which was the worst, but I never did that. But a lot of guys do. That's all you wanted to ask me?
Well, let's say you get to a base. Are you allowed to leave the base?
Absolutely. You know what? It's just like a job. You know, unless you pull guard duty or, you know, whatever. It's just like a job. You know, you report in the morning for formation, 5:30 in the morning, you know, then you go to chow, and then whatever's planned for the day. You know, whether it's PT, whether it's, like we had a huge shop for combat engineers. We had all of our equipment, you know, everything has to be extremely clean. So, you know, we'd work on that, we'd go out and do demos, blowing things up, and, you know, it just depended. But yeah, it's just a regular job. Once you're off, man, yeah, you can go do whatever you do. You're still a human being. It's just, you know, they do own you. So like, I'm not gonna lie though. While you're in, is say you go get in a fight, right? You come back to base and you're all beat up. They can say, you know, they can get you for destruction of government property. Man, that's the truth. But I mean, you take that oath, so you take that risk, you know. But most of the time it doesn't happen. But yeah, absolutely, you're just a regular person, man. You're just doing a job. And
what was some of the, when you were off doing your own thing, did you ever get to see any like cool, you know, areas of like, I don't know, like you said you went different areas like across the world.
Oh yeah, man, I used to, yeah. I mean, like when we were in Okinawa, we went everywhere, man, exploring everything, you know, checking out all the sites, you know, and being in California, I mean, there's so much to do. And then in North Carolina, Camp Lejeune, it's right on the coast. So, I mean, there was a lot of smaller beach areas. They had like beach houses that you could rent. And I mean, we used to, I'm not gonna tell you everything we used to do. We used to have a lot of fun. Yeah. Can't believe nobody has any questions, man.
How many years?
You got 11. You guys had more questions for Mr. Reese? Let me expand on the homeless veterans thing. I came here 5 years ago. Unfortunately, it was my fault. I got in a wrong relationship and stole everything from me. I kind of didn't have a choice. And then not long after I got here, I'm paying for part of my daughter's college. So, I mean, I make enough money to support myself, no problem. But right now, her school is absolutely killing me, I'm not gonna lie. So that's why I'm still here. I chose to be here. My daughter graduates this year from Purdue, so then I can move on. Plus, have you ever seen the thing about the Camp Lejeune water contamination lawsuits?
Yeah. I actually did a full presentation on it.
Oh yeah? Oh, good for you. Yeah, that's how I've had cancer. I had thyroid cancer, which is the main cancer that put me in a lawsuit. I've been in it for 3 years, and mine's actually going to trial next month. So, yeah.
So you can get a lot of money from it.
Yeah. But the biggest issue with that is the attorneys that I hired, they sent me to Valparaiso to an independent lab to have blood work drawn, and it was sent back to them, tested, and I still have the toxins in my blood, so I could still get other cancers related to that, because that, I mean, that's never gonna go away. So, but that's a good thing for me, because I'm definitely gonna win my lawsuit. I'm not gonna lie, that's what I'm looking forward to. I wish you guys had some questions for me, man. I'm running out of things to talk about.
Me too, bro.
My turn.
Oh, wait, no, she got a question, man.
When you were at Camp Lejeune, did you have to wear those things that go around your throat, kind of? There's some kind of thyroid protectors that
During that
people-
time, they didn't have that
No,
technology.
they didn't, no.
now they have some.
You gotta remember, I went in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't have that
None of
technology.
you were born yet.
You know, just like most wars in the future will not be fought as we fought traditional wars now. It's gonna be from space, most of it.
Yeah. I mean, like the technology they have now, between the communications, the body armor, everything is totally different than what I experienced. We wore Kevlar, which was extremely heavy. Like you see them, you know, they put them on, you usually see the opening in the middle all the way down. That's the old school compared to the ones they wear now. So it's, yeah.
And you know, you have technology that you don't even hear about. You have nanotechnology that's making something smaller than the point of a pen, and it's actually a weapon, either a listening device, mostly a weapon. It's called nanotechnology. They've been developing that since the 70s up to now, and they're using it like laser technology now. They can actually take a laser and shoot. That's what they use on most planes now, other than a $50,000-$60,000 missile. A laser shot may cost 15 cents. It can do almost 10 times the damage.
That's cool.
That is terrible.
I want to see one.
She's up on date.
Oh, here's a good question.
What?
Are you, do they let you work with that kind of stuff?
With me? Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely, yeah.
You've done work with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, it's been in development since the 70s. But most fighter planes, like your a lot of your, let's say F-15s, your F-35s, they use laser technology. Other than using a guided missile, they're using laser. And most of this technology was developed out in White Sands, New Mexico. And of course that spears over into Texas as well.
Yeah.
You know, nanotechnology, the first place that they developed an atomic bomb, Los Alamos National Laboratories, where they took the bomb in the back of a 41 Chevy vehicle and transported it, they didn't know what they had, transported it almost 300 miles to White Sands and exploded it. And a lot of people were actually close to the bomb when it we're not talking about right under it, but close enough where they got radioactive right away from the bomb.
Yeah.
You know, so they really didn't know what we had. You know, so but Los Alamos is the most thought of place where they develop nuclear weapons. And New Mexico, I keep saying New Mexico, but it's #1 in the country for people with a PhD because of research development for the military.
Right.
One of the things I want to tell you guys, when you enlist in any branch, okay, and this is very important, if they give you a guaranteed job, okay, if the recruiter says, yes, you know, you can be a combat engineer. When you get down to MEPS, that's where you go take the physical and actually enlist. Make sure it's in writing down there, because the recruiter can tell you anything. Trust me, I was one for 3 years, and we do lie sometimes, because you get a lot of pressure from above to get people in. So if you don't meet your quota, I mean, this isn't like a sales job selling cars. I mean, you know, you can actually, you know, destroy your career by not being successful. So sometimes they do lie. So when you do get down to MEPS, once you take the physical, you will meet with a higher up, whether it's Marine, Army, whatever branch you're going into, you'll be in a room with them going over your paperwork. And you make sure that it says, you know, guaranteed, and if they offer you a bonus or whatever, you make sure that's in writing. Because if it's not in writing down there at MEPS, I don't care what your recruiter says, you're not going to get it. Okay? So, I mean, that's very important. And then also, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but when you enlist down at MEPS, raise your right hand, you're not in the military. You're not in the military until you leave for basic training and you raise your right hand again, and you're actually in. So when you enlist, if something comes up, you decide to go to college or whatever, you can back out. I don't care what they tell you, they say, you're gonna go to jail. That's not true. It's not true. So you're not actually in the military till the day you leave for boot camp. So keep that in mind too, because a lot of people change their mind. I mean, it's so irritating to a recruiter, but it does happen. So, any other questions? I'm getting ready to turn over the floor. I mean, you guys are just talking, man. Like no questions at all. I don't know if you're afraid of me or what. If you ask her any questions, I'm gonna be real. I mean, just make some. Just make something up. Ask me something. I don't care what it is. How tall are you?
Haters. You always got haters.
Man, thanks. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, man.
Nice ring color.
I could tell. My seat too. No, that's good. No, that's okay.
Again, welcome everybody. I was one of those that was the youngest in the family, and I was a twin. So sometimes being the youngest, there's a lot of what do you call it? Overprotection as the youngest. So I needed to kind of get out of that. So what I did, I went, I don't know if they still do it. Do they still have recruiters come through the schools? Okay, that's what. Okay, that's what we.
I know when I used to go to school, everybody wanted to be around me.
That's what happened with me. I was kind of in between. What am I gonna do? Do I want to work, or do I really want to set a goal for a career? So when the recruiter came to school, I was listening and everything he said, you know, how you get free travel, free housing, free schooling, you don't have to pay for any of your clothing. It sounded good to me, you know, because first of all, you know, when you're always uncomfortable of the unknown, stepping out into the unknown. And my twin, she really didn't want me to do that. But I ended up going anyway. We were supposed to go together on what they call a buddy system. But she kind of checked out, and I didn't even understand why until later. But I chose that route to go into the military. Didn't have a clue what I was about to face. Didn't have a clue really what all was until a little bit. Usually when the recruiter tells you what's going on, it's usually the best parts of it, you know, to get you. But they don't tell you all the other stuff once you're in. But I want to tell you guys, that was the best decision I ever made in my life. I was in the Army for 10 years. Getting promoted real fast. The main thing that I was concerned about was whether I was going to pass boot camp. And really, boot camp is, for us, Army, a mind game. You know what I'm saying? They want to just see how much pressure they can put on you, how much you can take. Whether it's cussing at you, harassing you. It's just a mind game. So if you're a person that's disciplined, in home discipline, you won't have a problem with it. You really won't. I think it's much more stricter now as far as if you're, say, an undisciplined person and don't want to take orders. They really don't play that game. They don't even spend much time with you. They just go ahead and put you out. But if you know from the beginning that basic training boot camp is just a mind game, you already set yourself up for that, to know that. So from basic training, I started in the reserves. Army Reserve first because I kind of wanted to get a feel of the thinking and how they do things. So I went with Army Reserve 3 years. And I like that. And reserve usually is just you're basically still at home, but you like go to a site 1 week in a month. 1 week in a month. And you pull duty. And then you have 2 weeks summer camp every year. And you get the pay is the same as if you were active Army. So I did that for 3 years and I liked it. So then I changed over to regular Army for 7. My first tour was 4 years in Germany. Beautiful country. Beautiful. They have what they call mini tours on the weekend where you can travel to, depending on where you are, different other little countries. I was in Germany. I got a chance to travel to England, Paris, and like he was saying, on the weekends and after, say 5 o'clock is your time to do whatever you want, as long as you report back when you're supposed to in the mornings. I was kind of uncomfortable when I first went in after I finished basic training if I was going to really pass the PT test. But I did. I passed everything, pretty much maxed everything. And I'm not one, I'm going to tell you, I wasn't one for a lot of physical training and exercising. That just wasn't me. You know, so that was a goal that I had wanted to accomplish, and I accomplished it. I pretty much maxed all my tests, 2-mile runs, all that. And at first I was scared because, like I said, I had never been used to physical training. Number one, because I was always small and I really didn't need it, you know. So once I got in there, I thought it was going to be a problem, but they do build you up for whatever test you have to have. They give you plenty of time. They give you everything you need to qualify. Everything. You know what I'm saying? It's not like throw you out there and that's that. No, when it comes to physical training, they definitely prepare you for that because you're doing it like every day. Whatever your test is going to be, you do that every day. So it builds your endurance and your strength up. So I was glad about that. My job was basically, I chose a field that I knew that I could use when I came out of the military. And that's good to remember. Don't pick something to go to school for that you know you're not going to use once you get out. So I chose to be a clerk. You're going to always need clerks. You're going to always need doctors. You're going to always need policemen. So I chose to be a clerk. First I was a unit clerk. Then I changed over to a supply clerk, working in warehouses, working as a dispatcher. Then the last thing I chose was a material clerk, where I was actually handling the clothing that we wear in the military and everything that they give you. I was actually stocking and inventorying that and doing that. So, you know, I just want to say it's a rewarding experience. A lot of times we get out and you don't know what to do. I don't know anywhere out here that's going to pay for your travel, pay for you to see the world, pay for you to have your own living place to live, take care of all your clothes, have a check every 2 weeks, faithfully. You know what I'm saying? And you don't do nothing with it until, like, say, you get up in rank, say, like a sergeant or E6, and you decide that you want to move off post, then that will be on you. You know, you want to get your own place, move off post, then, yeah, then. But other than that, most of your money is put in the bank. You can put it in the bank or send it a lot in home to mom, dad, or whatever. But to me, that was the most rewarding experience. And you have a chance to meet all kind of people from all over the world. And the funniest thing to me was when I was stationed in Germany, all those people, I don't even know how they keep a job. They drink so much. They wake up drinking. They go to bed drinking. I don't even see how they keep a job. And you won't believe their number one place to eat is McDonald's. You have to drive miles to get into McDonald's. Miles. Their McDonald's is like Arm Lobster over here. Miles. And I mean, it'd be packed. And I could not believe that. I could not believe it. But beautiful country. I had a chance to go to South Carolina, Fort Lee, Virginia, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, Fort Lee, Virginia. I was stationed in Tacoma, Washington. I was stationed in Denver, Colorado. Shreveport, Louisiana. And I was so glad to leave that place. I have been doing so well all of my 10 years. And at that place, Fort Puke, we call it, Louisiana, I had got my first Article 15, which is one of the major, actions from the military that you can get. And if you never had it before, you really don't know how to fight it and win. So I ended up having a misunderstanding with one of a command sergeant major from Samoa. And he took it way out of proportion. So when I was getting ready to re-enlist 2 more years, that devastated me so bad because, you have your career or a goal in place and you're doing well, getting promoted fast, and then that happens. It kind of devastated me and it really hurt me. So I could have, and at that time Desert Storm had started as well, and I could have finished my 10 years in the reserves. But at that time I was trying to get into another branch of the service and they had a freeze on other branches coming in. So I ended up getting out, and that was the only action I had against me. But overall, like I said, it was the most rewarding and the best decision I ever made in my life. Life is hard, but now it's pretty much peacetime, and it gives you something to think about. Like I said, where out here are you going to find free housing, free meals, clothes, a check guaranteed every 2 weeks, living arrangements? You're not out here. And I'm not saying that that's something you have to do, but I would consider it. Any decision you make in life has challenges, has ifs, but you don't want to not make plans for your future past graduation. You want to do that. You want to have something in mind, something that you are good at, that if you can't really accomplish it out here, the military. And it's your choice, what school you want to go to. The AIT training, the school training they give you, it's so thorough. It's so thorough, And once you finish basic training, then that's when you go to your school that you want to go to for I think it's 6 weeks. And then they send you to your first actual station that you're going to be stationed at. And from that point on, wherever they send you, that's the job you'll be doing. That's the job you'll be doing. And depending on how long you're in, if you do 20 years, then, you're set pretty much for life, And that situation, like I said, that I had kind of devastated me to the point where I kind of, after I couldn't get into another branch, my mind just kind of forgot, but I really could have went into the reserve and finished my other 10. But I didn't do that because I had my family there with me, and it was kind of hard for me mentally to accept that fact happening. Like I said, when you have a goal and you really want to set it, and then something happens and you can't. So then it's like, wow, you have to start all over again. You know? But please, if you don't know, talk to a recruiter and get the pros and cons of what they're saying and check it out. Check it out. Like I said, I chose to do reserve first because I wanted to get a feel of what it was like. And then after I did that, I automatically chose to go over to Army for 7 years. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Wait, you guys didn't clap for me.
I know, I just thought about it.
I did.
I know, I was like, wait, hold on, we didn't clap for
Hey, they let you know exactly how they felt about you. Sorry. All right, hello everyone.
I just stayed with you so I'm to tell you about this.
All right, I'm Ronnie Patterson. I am the Air Force guy. I did 23 years. I'm gonna give you a real brief story about, you know, how I came to go into the military. First, I was the oldest of 5 children. You know, I had both my parents, but my father was the only one who was working. We all did well in school, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to school, but then I had 4 other siblings. They were doing real well in school, but I was like, I don't know if I want to go to school, because to be honest, I thought I would probably go to school, party, and meet girls, and probably be a C student, and that's not the type of grades we got in my house. My parents were like, if C is average, you don't need to be here if you're going to be a C student. So my mom, she suggested the military. I was like, Mom, I don't nobody want to go to no military. So I ended up going down to the recruiter's office down on 5th on Broadway. And when I went in there, I didn't talk to anybody, even though my dad had been Army previously. But I went in there, and this is how I came to my judgment. You had a Marine guy, you had an Army guy, you had a Navy guy, and you had an Air Force guy. So I was like, I heard the Marines are crazy. I heard the Army the first to go.
No,
I heard
so wrong.
All right, so wrong. All right, but that's what I'm saying. I went on what I thought. Navy, I said, they always on the water, which obviously isn't true. I said, Air Force. I said, I ain't never heard nothing bad about no Air Force. So I went home, my mom said, so what did you think? I said, I still really don't want to go. Mama said, so what are you going to do? I said, I'll go down there and talk to the guy. So I went down there and talked to the guy several times before I know it. This process gets underway. I'm already physically fit, but I have the audacity to be trying to get up early in the morning and run at the track and shave the little whiskers I have on my face. My dad showing me how to shave and all that. But I was like, man, I'm not running. I'm already in shape. Why am I do all this? So go down there, talk to the guy, do real well on the ASVAB test. You know, you have these different portions, administrative, mechanically, electronics, and all this. So I ended up getting an administrative job. So I ended up going over to Chicago, to the MEPS physical and all that. So I'm in line with the Marines and everybody, you know, they're giving us the oath. So my hand is going up and down, up and down. So he's giving a speech saying, you are now members of the United States Armed Forces. So I thought my arm was down when he finished. But then the thing is, I looked over and I said, dang, my arm is still up. I said, I guess I'm in the military now. So I went back, you know, I'm talking to my parents. They told me how proud they are of me and all this. So we go down there to catch the bus. My first time ever getting ready to get on a plane to go to Chicago. I'm crying like a baby. I'm 19 years old, crying like a baby. My mama said, if I had saw you crying, I'd have pulled you off the bus. So we go, you know, fly from Chicago to San Antonio, Texas. I get down there and, you know, going through basic training. Like I said, basic training in all the branches is nothing but a mind game. So, you know, even I had the audacity, as Gary says, we had the easiest basic training. But the thing is, I was like, I still didn't like nobody yelling at me. That's why I try to tell young people nowadays, once you get out of basic training, the yelling doesn't consist. But after 2 weeks, I was like, man, I don't want to be here no more. I don't want nobody yelling at me. Well, I'm going to be down here. My parents don't even yell at me. So I get through there, and then we end up our tech school, IT training, where your books and all that for school was in Denver, Colorado. So I go to Denver, Colorado, and when we're in Denver, Colorado, you know, we're students. You go to class during the day, you know, days Later on in the evening is yours. The weekends, you can still go out and hang out and be with your friends and all that stuff. So then after that, they give us what you call a dream sheet. On the dream sheet, you pick the places that you like to go, but of course the military sends you where you want, where they want you and they need you. So I picked all these beautiful locations, and I couldn't think of names. It was 10. And then Germany was the last one. So I was like, okay, well, hopefully I get one of them beautiful locations. Next thing I know, they end up sending like myself and probably about 7 of my classmates to the same area. Like, I think 6 of us went to the same base in Germany, and then 2 went to another base not too far away. So I had those individuals to communicate with. So I get over there, hanging out. I'm on the phone every day. I'm crying every day. I'm homesick. I'm an ocean away. Don't nobody love me. All this and all that. My parents like, my mom said, baby, you're not gonna be a call every day. Cause you know, the phone bill was crazy. So I was like, you know, just saying y'all don't love, kept saying y'all don't love me. And of course, my parents, they love me and all that stuff. So next thing I know, what I did, I ended up playing basketball. I was pretty good at it. So I wanted to know, of course, what my dorm was at, where the club was at, and where the gym was at. So when I went to the gym, there were 3 young ladies that have this thing called base basketball. They have full contact football over there, and the ladies were like, well, why don't you play base basketball? I said, I just got here. I don't even know what that is. So he's like, go and try out for the team. So they come to the office one day and say, George Price, the base basketball coach, would like for you to try out for the base basketball team. I said, man, he don't want me to try. I just got here. You know, I'm confident in myself, but I'm like, all these guys from New York and LA and all that. So this captain meets me where I get my mail. He said, George Price would like for you to be at the gym at 3 o'clock. So I go to the gym. It's like 100 some guys trying out for the basketball team. So I'm in there, I'm looking. I'm like, dang, that's a lot of guys. So I go in there, and I know a lot of, you know, I don't know, athletes or whatever. But the first 2 weeks are purely like calisthenics, defensive drills, just stuff where guys like to touch the ball. We like to shoot, we like to dribble, we like to do all that. If you can't do that, a lot of guys will be like, forget that, I'm not gonna do that. So a whole bunch of the guys, they was like, I'm not gonna do it, I'm gonna come back when they start playing basketball. So the assistant coach kept all that on record, and a lot of the guys that came back didn't have the opportunity or the chance. So they did a list like they did in high school, they break it down, all this, and I ended up making a team. And it was like being on a small college campus, and if you're good, everybody knows you. And you know, you feel kind of popular. Sometimes some people's head get big and all that. So while I'm over there, I didn't even have to do a lot of work, really, because I did a lot of traveling, going off or youth safety in Europe, playing basketball and stuff like that. So I traveled. I went to Paris. I went to all these places because I was stationed over there for 2 years. And while I was over there, you know, I met a lot of friends. You know, it was like I was closed-minded in a lot of areas, especially music, because to be perfectly frank, I was like in a dorm, I considered I only listened to black music, but in the dorm they had country, they had rock and roll, they had rap, they had all this, and then next thing I know, I end up finding my mind listening to other stuff, kind of enjoying other stuff, and I was like, dang, this place is getting kind of eclectic, it's kind of opening up and carrying on. I'm listening to Foreigner and George Michael and Madonna. And
what was that, like 1975?
Don't be funny. This was in 83, 85. So, you know, my mind expanded and carrying on as it should as you grow and all that, you know, because a lot of us are closed-minded. But my mind opened up. I would go to the club, and like I said, Madonna, all these other people, and I was really enjoying. And then the only person they really ever played in the beginning was Michael Jackson. And I was like, they would go crazy when Michael Jackson got on the floor. I was like, dang, they love Michael over here. So it was a real big thing. And like I said, just being over there, being in the dorm, listening to all that, it opened my mind in a lot of ways. And of course, I got to meet people from New York, Los Angeles, Texas, and all that.
And they love David Hasselhoff over there too.
Yeah, they loved him.
Yeah,
they loved him over there. So after that, I ended up going, got orders to New Jersey, to McGuire Air Force Base. I went there for a couple of years, and I did time there. But overall, you know, I did 23 years. You know, I loved it. Predominantly, I did active duty, but I did reserve duty. Combined 23. I ended up going to Desert Storm in '91. I did Iraqi Freedom where I had to go to Kuwait after 9/11. 2003, I had to go over to Kuwait and Kyrgyzstan to do like 6 months of duty over there. That was kind of You know, people sending me care packages and all that, you know, when they call me, because I got a call from someone down at the base and they said, you know, you've been called up to active duty. So I had to go over there and support what was going on. I was a supply person, I was inventory management. So as Mr. here says, we do have the best of everything, the best of food and everything.
You're sleeping in air conditioning.
Yeah, we're living good. So, but the thing is, what you always want to know if you're in the military, you always want to know the supply person, you want to know the police, and usually you want to know people in the medical career field, because those people are intertwined. Usually you can get favors, because I know a lot of people always want to come to supply and get stuff from us, but it was like an exchange. But like I said, overall, 23 years, I took one class while I was in New Jersey at Burlington County Community College. But once I got out, I ended up going to IUN here. I got my degree in general studies, and then I went through voc rehab and went out here to Indiana Western and got my MBA in business. So my number one thing is, whatever you do, hopefully you have something, a career that's in demand, so somebody always wants you. But then there are always those fields where you help people. Some people just have that caring heart where you want to help people. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, if it comes to the money, medical, I'm sure you all know exactly the career fields to go into. But that's kind of the gist of, you know, my thing. 23 years of the Air Force, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't change it for anything. I always have to thank my mother for putting me in that position, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have made that decision. So appreciate you for listening.
Thank you. Ron, nice to meet you.
I'm still disappointed in y'all. Not a platform.
How you doing, bro?
I think I scared you.
Yeah, it's been fun. Oh, you're sitting on. That's funny.
Can't be the Olympic. Yes, Ireland.
Yes, Ireland. I don't know how they keep jobs. Talking about how they drink a lot. I don't know how they keep jobs.
That's a look they give you in boot camp. That you have to look like that all the time.
I'm down with the sickness.
You down with the sickness? All right. You my man. Yeah, I look a lot different now.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm 50.
Still got the look in your eyes.
I'm 55 though, man.
That's you?
That's me, man.
I saw you showing it to the guy and laughing.
You don't think that's me?
I believe
You
it.
saying I look that bad? No.
Oh, come on.
My dad was down there.
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding, man.
You can see it in the eyes.
Yeah, the eyes never change.
Oh. Ain't no pet.
Yeah. I wish I'd still look like that.
Yeah, all right.
Why?
I don't feel like I'm 50. Yes.
Okay,
Crack
so
my bag and I didn't.
you guys stand up and kind of form where we can all take a picture together.
So we in the front.
Right away. Right away. Figure it out.
Flexing my legs, it hurts so much.
Almost.
It's gonna be like that JAG photo.
You guys gotta squeeze together.
Yeah, we got my fault, bro.
Okay, go that way. Yeah, go that way. Our fingers. I'll get on you.
Oh yeah, come on.
Together.
That's right.
Get on your way.
Together. They're coming
Don't be afraid. Yes, bye. She likes, not me. You can come stand by me.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I don't fight.
Okay, so you guys both got the hands with them?
You might have the similar height. You can come back here if you want. Tall guys in the back.
Oh, you gonna sit down?
Thank you, bro.
There you go.
Come on, Lacey, hurry up. Jump behind you.
That's my bus driver.
Say cheese.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
They're trying to block the green light.
Tippy toeing.
I'm trained to do this.
Yeah, bell
Hey, my good man, is there a
You should have. What's up with it? Oh. I bet that shit looks awesome, right?
This is sick. I feel like I'm too cold.
What's going on? What's going
Oh my god, it worked on my phone.
You're kidding. But what the hell?
Wait, I need that as well. It's really funny.
Look at the lights in your room.
A little funky looking.
Yeah. Can I borrow? Oh, see. I love that. I'm seeing what you guys saw now.
Yeah,
That is.
cool.
And they rotate when you move your
Yeah, I
head.
know. You go like this. Side, side.
I could do this all day. If I was tripping out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm taking balls like that.
What is this
And then I
weird?
just want to get up in the middle of everybody's house. I'm trying to wait it out.
Vamp.
Nice,